Hello students, welcome to Gyanvyar School of Education, Suresh Gyanvyar University. I'm Dr. Sonia Kaur Bansal and today's my topic is interdisciplinary approach in research and subject is methodology of educational research. This is a very important topic students to understand if you are a research scholar as how interdisciplinary approach works in a more better way when you are doing the research. So let's understand it and I hope you will understand it more attentively and grasp the concept. So today's class learning objective which I have set for you all that you will be able to understand the interdisciplinary approach in research educational research. So just understand students what it is, what is the concept, what is the term interdisciplinary means, what is the interdisciplinary approach, how it works in research. So we are going to understand all about it. So let's have a look on the presentation. Now, first of all, students, we are going to discuss the meaning of interdisciplinary. What is the term interdisciplinary? See, discipline, but there is one more thing added to it, prefix is added, that is inter. So, what does interdisciplinary studies mean? The word interdisciplinary is defined in Merriam Webster as simply involving two or more academic, scientific, or artistic discipline. So, this is how, if we are studying a particular discipline, one discipline at a time, but we are also taking the help of other disciplines also to study more effectively. All right, student. So, an interdisciplinary studies a degree does just that. It involves covering a broad range of practical and relevant subjects. See, students, when we are talking about relevant subjects, so relevant means whatever is relevant to your own study. So that's how we are going to discuss. So an interdisciplinary studies degrees does just that. It involves covering a broad range of practical and relevant subjects necessary for developing a breadth of understanding of learning and society. So, in nutshell, just understand what is interdisciplinary. It is students enrolled in the program. Select a concentration like any program you have selected, art, psychology, public administration, or organizational leadership. As you have chosen your MA degree for that, which allows you to focus on a particular subject. And you are not only focusing on your own subject, but you are taking help of your relevant subject also. So this is called interdisciplinary approach. So it is actually indicating to more broader view of your studies. So these four concentrations are based on today's most dynamic professional paths and supplement this well-rounded educational foundation. So this is how I'm explaining you interdisciplinary studies mean. What does it mean? Now let's understand about interdisciplinary approach. What is that? So I have been always telling you there is a difference between approach, method, and technique. You can see my detailed video on that on YouTube channel. So interdisciplinary approach is something that you are applying to your content. How do you see that content? So an approach to curriculum integration, that generation and understanding of themes and ideas that cut across disciplines and of the connections between different disciplines and their relationship to the real world. So this is how it is in establishing and understanding with one subject to other subjects. It is also developing an integration in a very good way between the curriculum of different ideas, different themes of the subjects. So it normally emphasizes process and meaning rather than product and content by combining contents, theories, methodologies, and perspectives from two or more disciplines. So understand students that when we are understanding one subject particularly, so it involves some process and it will involve some product also on the basis of your understanding. Your content will be developed in your mind. But when you will combine the content and theory and methodology and other important thing from more another discipline also, so it will enhance its usability, and its effectiveness will also be enhanced. So that's why interdisciplinary approach is so much in demand nowadays, and you must study being a research scholar, because when you are studying, when you are researching something, you don't have to be just be limited to your own area only. You have to see other things also. You have to see uh, develop that point of interdisciplinary approach, because if you are reviewing your own research topic in your own field, education field, okay, fine, you will have a good understanding. But for more better uh, competency, for more effectiveness, you have to go to another disciplines also to see the effectiveness also. Now, for example, students, like if I talk about a simple psychological topic that is related to job burnout or occupational stress. So many of you must be doing work upon it. If occupational stress is seen in teaching line, fine, it is your related area and you are working on that. But your approach should be also of like that, that you are studying, you are reviewing the occupational stress not only in teaching line, maybe in medical line, maybe in engineering line, or any other line, or administrative line. So this is something that is enhancing your vision, that not only in teaching the occupational stress is also found in other areas also. So it will give you more understanding about your topic, about your variables, and you will be able to frame very good objectives and hypotheses based upon them. So this is how interdisciplinary approach is working. Now let's understand what is interdisciplinary research. Research means students find again, to find something again which has not been found out earlier. So you're doing something, you're researching something, and now we are just asking the definition of discipline. So the definition of discipline and discussion of the varieties of interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary research have occupied much scholarly debate. Remember, students, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and transdisciplinary are altogether three different terms. Don't take them as synonyms. Okay, so although there is not always agreement on these definitions, it is clear that areas of research are dynamic. They are movable. They are not at one place. When you find a research area, when you select a research area, so it is continually emerging, melding, and transforming with other areas also. Whatever your area is here in your research, maybe you have chosen in education field, but it is quite possible that in coming days or in with point of view of some other references, it is changing its area. So it is being studied in other fields also. So what is considered interdisciplinary today might be considered disciplinary tomorrow. Because when you are combining two disciplines together, you are studying two disciplines together. Maybe after few days, the content you have understood from another discipline with the help of another discipline, maybe for better understanding for future generation, it will be considered in that discipline only. So this is what interdisciplinary research. So, as a working definition of interdisciplinary research, we refer you to the definition set forth in a National Academy's report. Interdisciplinary research is a mode of research, students, by teams or individuals that integrates information, data, technique tools, perspectives, concepts, and or theories from two or more disciplines or bodies of specialized knowledge to advance fundamental understanding or to solve problems whose solutions are beyond the scope of single discipline or area of research practice. So this is how interdisciplinary research is defined. So first of all, it is a mode of research done by teams or individuals. Second thing, it integrates information, data, technique, tool, perspective, concepts, theories from two or another discipline also. So specialized knowledge in advanced fundamental understanding or to solve the problems whose situations, whose solutions are beyond the scope of single discipline, when it is not possible to solve those problems within one discipline, then we broad the horizon and we go to another discipline also, or the area of research practice. So it is always good for students to be active while doing the research, because sometimes it is happening that you are not able to understand your concept in one particular area, one particular discipline. By that time, then it would be really a great help if you are finding your solutions with another discipline also. So that's how it is working. It is a type of mode of research. All right, students. So let's proceed further. Now, what is interdisciplinary research? Let's understand it in a more elaborative way. So for so many people, college is, as we are often told, one of the best and most exciting times of our lives. We feel best when we are in college, in university. So we find that when the children are in school, or especially I'm talking about 11th and 12th, they wait for their schooling to be over and they want to go to college. And that's the time, that's the most exciting time in the lifetime when people are in college. So while this is true for many people, college comes with its own set of anxieties also. There are many problems also, like having to declare a major. So not only excitement, but anxieties are also there, though it is not the case for everybody. Not surely this is going to happen with everyone deciding on the field of study what you are going to take. So when after board exams of 10th standard, the student chooses a particular stream in which way to go, either arts, commerce, or science. Then after 12, this problem is again there with anxieties as what to do next. So one field of study has to be chosen during the college duration, and generally beyond can be intimidating and overwhelming thought. There are many thoughts related to that. So fortunately, over the last several decades, new approaches to research and academia have emerged to students, and that allow for more flexibility, such as the interdisciplinary approach. So this type of interdisciplinary approach actually avails you more opportunities regarding a particular field of study or research. So interdisciplinary research is a type of study or research that draws from two or more disciplines in order to gain a more well-developed perspective or discover something new. So when we are going to discover something new, we are going to search something new, which is the basic objective of your research, then definitely you have to approach one or another discipline also. Your subject area must be related to science, but it might be possible that you are covering some of the affective area of social studies also. How your science or experimental research or very technical research is contributing to society, how would they feel about it, then you will be covering another discipline also. So this is something you are doing with interdisciplinary approach. For example, American studies involves a considerable amount of interdisciplinary research in fields such as sociology, history, anthropology, political science. So these are some of the branches of the subjects that you cannot just separate them entirely. You will involve them when you are doing your research. You cannot separate educational psychology if you are particularly doing your research in education field, or maybe educational administration, leadership, technology. You cannot just separate that. Other examples of fields that involve interdisciplinary research are women's studies, environmental studies, neuroscience, all of which draw from different disciplines in order to enhance their understandings of particular issues or offer an origin theory or concept. So, although interdisciplinary research is very common, students, within the social sciences and humanities, it is becoming increasingly common in physical sciences as well. So this is how interdisciplinary approach and research is understood. Now students, let's have a look on the concept that how does interdisciplinary research work? How does it happen when you are doing the research? So first of all, it is depending on the subject being researched and what subject you have chosen for doing the research. Interdisciplinary research can either be easily applied or difficult to process. Both things can be possible. So it is dependent on your subject, what kind of subject, what kind of nature of your subject. So for example, a robust project on the development of American identity in the 19th century. It would require looking at an American history as well as concepts and theories from sociology, anthropology, and political science, because it is a robust project on development of American identity, how identity was developed of Americans. So definitely sociology would be covered, anthropology would be covered, how the human being was progressing during the time. Then political science will also be covered. So this is how the interdisciplinary research work itself. Because something like identity is a fairly complex thing. So how you are going to judge the identity and how you are going to research about it? So there was no way to develop a strong thesis by operating from a single discipline. And if you think that you are just leaving sociology, anthropology, political science away from your research, you will not be able to do that. So in this case, interdisciplinary research was easy to apply because these fields have natural overlap and many things in common. So this is how it is working. For a field like environmental studies, on the other hand, interdisciplinary research can be a challenge also. Because it is a physical science, environmental studies may employ quantitative methodologies like surveys, which are used to collect large amount of observational or statistical data. So although students, this is a common in most physical sciences, environmental studies, and involves people and their attitudes towards nature, which could be understood through a sociological or legal perspectives. So unlike the previous example, this type of research would require going from a physical or life sciences also to a social science, which has a very different way of collecting or analyzing data. So this is how the research, when we are doing the interdisciplinary research, it works in itself. So sometimes it can be very challenging because all the streams cannot be accumulated all the time. But when you are employing quantitative methodologies like survey, so you can collect a large amount of observational or statistical data by that time. So you can just get the data from different streams also. All right, students, I hope you have understood this much. So let's proceed further. Then working between physical science and social science can also be a challenge. Physical science and social science, just understand minute difference, because the perspectives are often very different. We study different content in physical science and different in social science. So it is, and in some cases it may be conflicting also. So physical science is something that is related to different rules. Gravity rule is also there in physical science, but social science is related to history, political geography, social science. So civics also. So this is actually maybe contrasting sometime also. So for example, a scientist that is used to collecting and analyzing soil examples. A scientist is collecting soil examples in a lab, may find it very challenging to switch to qualitative interviewing, because he is experimenting on soils, different varieties of soils. Now he has to experiment with that only. It would be a little difficult if he goes towards the qualitative interviewing, which is very common in social sciences type of research. So which requires conducting in-depth interviews with individuals to gain different perspectives on a specific question or event. So understand, student, this is how it is working. So next is now to be very clear with the interdisciplinary approach or interdisciplinary type of research, students, I'm going to tell you a little controversial history also about this. So how it came into existence and how it developed gradually. So we are going to discuss about it. So until the Industrial Revolution, education was dominated by religion and classical text. We all know that earlier education was given to the higher caste only. There were four categories, four sections of the society: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So the higher caste was given the task of education only. So this was the task, this was the thing before industrial revolution didn't happen, and the education was majorly dominated by religion and classical text. What the are classical texts like Upanishad and all that, they taught us, we believe that. So they were more about exploring the questions of morality and a higher truth. But with the advent of technology, when the technology arrived at the end of the 19th century, then students' education was expected to prepare workers for the rapidly growing industrialization economy. So this there was a change. So just understand that when in ancient period, education was mainly dominated by classical context or religion. But later on in 19th century, when industrial revolution took place, so the education was now expected to prepare very skillful workers for rapidly growing industrializing economy in the country. So specialized education was in the high demand, changing the structure of many colleges and universities across the United States of America and the world. Around this time, disciplines were divided into subdisciplines like chemistry, anthropology, and many universities emphasize their disciplinary resources and research facilities. All right, students. So I hope you are understanding that around this time, disciplines were divided into subdisciplines. Like psychology was divided into clinical psychology, educational psychology. So it was divided into subdisciplines. And it was the time when a branch was needed also, subdiscipline was needed also, because whole and soul study was required to just understand the particular field. So, like chemistry and anthropologies, and many universities emphasize their disciplinary resources and research facilities. So, knowledge transformed from an experience to a product. This was actually something controversial about its history. So, let's see in further. Not everyone, however, supported the shift towards specialization at the turn of 20th century, because everybody was seeking specialization, skillful workers that education would give to the country. Charles Eliot, president of Harvard University during this educational transition period, played a key role in the development of the liberal arts education. And in many ways, Eliot's radical views on education are still relevant today, students. For example, one of his most influential reforms was advocacy for a curriculum based on students' interest rather than pre-established curriculum. So this is the viewpoint of Charles Eliot, president of Harvard University. He gave during that time, turn of the 20th century, and it is still in process, still very important, very significant. Now, so Charles Eliot believed that a student by age of 18 was old enough to select his own courses and pursue his own imagination also. So interdisciplinarity abides by the same logic, because the child has grown up and he is now old enough to select his own courses, and he will pursue his own imagination also. So in that case, interdisciplinarity abides by the same logic. Many educators disagreed with Eliot from this point of view, arguing that schools exist to guide students through the established hierarchy of students, that schools are going to guide them. This is the work of school. Why do they exist then? If the student has to do so much hard work, put lots of hard work on his imagination and his old appropriate experiences. So many argued and disagreed with Eliot. If students wander around at their own will, these educators argued they may leave schools with an incomplete or inconclusive education. So many of the scholars came from this point of view, that we cannot leave the students up to their own will. Okay. So now let's have a look on the benefits of interdisciplinary study. What is the benefit? Just have a look upon them. So first of all, student, this type of study allows the students to learn by making connections between ideas and concepts across different disciplinary boundaries. So when the student is understanding more and more ideas, not only in one discipline but in another, two or more disciplines, then definitely he is increasing his connections more and more, and is developing his ideas and concepts across different disciplinary boundaries. So it is not just limited to that only. So students learning in this way are able to apply the knowledge gained in one discipline to another different discipline as a way to deepen the learning experience. So the most effective approach to interdisciplinary study enables students to build their own interdisciplinary pathway by choosing courses which make sense to them. All right, students? For examples, it is not too difficult to find a theme which crosses over interdisciplinary boundaries in literature. So, art and history or science and mathematics. Studying topics thematically is one way to bring ideas together, resulting in more meaningful learning. So this can occur by allowing students to choose their own subjects, and their learning is deepened when they reflect on the connections between what they are learning in different disciplines. Now, students, just understand making connections between different concepts is essential in interdisciplinary study. This is the actually gist of this word interdisciplinary, that you have to make the connections. You cannot be in your own limit, in your own discipline's limit. You have to be like that. There is a lot of to do from another disciplines also. So this is how you are going to understand. All right, students. So let's understand that making connections between different concepts is essential in interdisciplinary study. And here are some other benefits of studying in this way also. So students are highly motivated as they have a vested interest in pursuing topics that are really very interesting to them. They find very appropriate and for suitable to their interest. So what would happen as a result? The content is often rooted in life experiences, giving an authentic purpose for the learning and connecting it to a real world context. So consequently, the learning becomes meaningful, purposeful, and deeper, resulting in learning experiences that stay with the student for a lifetime. And this is really very something very good in the point of view of achievements, when any type of learning is staying with the student for lifetime. So this is how the education is also serving its purpose in its fullest form. So students cover topic in more depth because they are considering the many and varied perspectives from which a topic can be explored. Okay, students? So critical thinking skills are used and developed as students look across disciplinary boundaries to consider other viewpoints and also begin to compare and contrast concepts across subject areas. So students begin to consolidate learning by synthesizing ideas from many perspectives, by and consider an alternative way of acquiring knowledge too. So exploring topics across a range of subject boundaries motivates the students to pursue new knowledge in different subject areas. So explore topics in that way, that the range of your subject boundaries is actually you are enhancing. So it will motivate you researchers to pursue new knowledge in different subject areas also, when you are covering with them and when you are doing the research with your broad view. Okay, so transferable skills of critical thinking, synthesis, and research are developed and are applicable to future learning experiences. So this is how some subjects critical thinking is required and another subjects it is not required. We do so much experiments, analysis of data in experimental research, scientific researches, and on the other way we do so much of surveys and type of qualitative research in social sciences research. So these are the actually transferable skills which a researcher must possess when the research actually synthesizes the ideas of from different discipline which are being got by the researcher. So in in a time period, the researcher is definitely to going to apply those skills in future researches also, future learning experiences also. So transferable skills of critical thinking, synthesis, and research are developed and are applicable to future learning experiences. So interdisciplinary knowledge and application of different disciplines can lead to greater creativity. All right, students. So worthwhile topic of research can fall in the spaces between the traditional disciplines. So how this is actually making the process for interdisciplinary research, that it is creating some gaps also to fulfill that knowledge with the help of another discipline. So this is how your uh, research will lead to a greater creativity and a wonderful knowledge and application of your own research when you are covering a little bit of your research to another discipline also. So it is always encouraging for a researcher when the researcher is having good value for the data collection or analysis. So these spaces actually in between, which are actually left by the researcher, they fulfill the gap. Now students, let's have a look on the benefits of interdisciplinary study. How it is very important and how it is going to benefit you. So, interdisciplinary programs draw from two or more academic disciplines that work together to create a powerful learning experiences. As I've told you, interdisciplinary means you are taking help of two or more disciplines to develop a concept. Two disciplines are working in together and they are creating a powerful learning experiences also. And it is also emphasizing integrative learning, how you learn when you integrate one discipline with the another discipline. It will also enhance your critical thinking, imagination, and creative problem solving. So through interdisciplinary studies, students discover the value of integrating the study, why it is so valuable, of various academic disciplines suited to their lifelong interest. They also learn creative solutions to some of today's most challenging problems. Sometimes students, it is seen that one discipline is in which we are studying or the scholar or the student is studying is somehow insufficient to find the solution of a particular problem. So in that case, we must proceed to another connecting discipline, relevant discipline, to find out the proper solutions. And this will not only lead to the creative solutions for the most challenging problems, but it will also um, enhance the critical thinking and creative problems solving skills among the scholars or researchers. So become interdisciplinary thinkers who analytically and creatively embrace new ideas. They are not afraid of adapting new ideas, new thought process, because your own discipline, what you are studying, interestingly, is not giving you that much exposure. But when you are integrating your own discipline with another discipline, then you are just analytically and creatively following new ideas, and you find it so good, and your own feeling would be very happy sort of when you combine two or more disciplines together in your research work. So develop collaboration skills while working with others who have different perspectives. So, and moreover, students are also prepared for graduate and professional study and for careers in new and emerging fields. Nowadays, you cannot say that educational technology is entirely a new field, separate field. You cannot say. Educational methodology is entirely a different field. You have to combine it with another discipline also. So it will actually increase your professionalism as well. And you will lead to more and more success also. Okay, students? So, next is we are proceeding towards the conclusion part, that interdisciplinary study allows for synthesis of ideas and the synthesis of characteristics from many disciplines. So for sure, one thing is very clear, that you are accumulating ideas from another discipline. You're getting that from another discipline, and then you are adding it to your own discipline, and then you are gaining some beautiful experiences also. So at the same time, it addresses students' individual differences and helps to develop important transferable skills also. So whatever the skills are being developed in one particular discipline, and when you are integrating it with your own, then these skills are definitely being transferred. And as I told you, that with course of time, with duration of time, your another studied material will be the part of your own discipline then. So three important skills, these important skills like such critical thinking, communication and analysis, these are very important and continually developing at all stages of life. So educational systems are serving students best if they enable and encourage students to build their own interdisciplinary pathway. So this is how educational systems are working best for serving the students, because they are enabling and encouraging the students to build their own interdisciplinary pathway, because to get maximum benefits from all the discipline must be the education's whole and soul aim. So this approach is sure to foster a love of learning students, ignite a spark also for enthusiasm and address learning differences for students. So it will work really in a wonderful way if we are following all the conclusions. Now this is the list of references, students, for your most study purpose. And I really believe that you are going to study them and you will be revising well about the interdisciplinary approach. Now let's have a look on the MCQs which I have prepared for you. So just have the MCQs related to interdisciplinary approach as well as in general research related MCQs. So what is the main role of research in education? Option A, to upsurge one's social status. B, to increase one's job prospects. C, to augment one's personal growth. Option D, to help an applicant in becoming a renowned educationalist. So the correct answer is D, of course. The main role of research in education is to help an applicant in becoming a renowned educationalist. The highlighted are the correct answer. So second question is related to which of the following features are considered as critical in qualitative research. So is considered as critical, you have to just take care. So option A, collecting data with help of standardized tools. Design sampling with probability sample techniques. Collecting data with bottom-up empirical evidence. Gathering data with top-down schematic evidence. So the correct answer is related to a feature which is considered as critical in qualitative research is about option C, collecting data with bottom-up empirical evidence. Now, next is related to a style of research that draws from two or more academic disciplines is known as what? Transdisciplinary research, interdisciplinary research, cross-disciplinary research. None of the answers are correct. So the correct answer is related to a style of research that draws from two or more academic discipline is known as interdisciplinary research. Next question is which of the following options are the main task of research in modern society? So option A, to learn new things, to keep pace with the advancement in knowledge, to systematically examine and critically analyze the investigation sources with the objectives. Correct answer is related to all the A, B, C answers are correct. Okay, students? Next question is, what is the main aim of interdisciplinary research? And the options are following. A, to oversimplify the problem of research, to bring out the holistic approach to research, C, to create a new trend in research methodology, D, to reduce the emphasis on a single subject in the research domain. So the correct answer is definitely option B is the main aim of interdisciplinary research, that is related to bring out the holistic approach to research. And it is really beneficial for the researchers. Next question is related to the main aim of scientific method in the research field is to improve data interpretation, confirm triangulation, introduce new variables. Option D, eliminate spurious relations. So the correct answer is eliminate spurious relation is the main of the scientific method in the research field. So this is how we have completed today's topic, students, and I hope you have really understood that, and I hope you have understood what is interdisciplinary approach, how does it work, what are the benefits of interdisciplinary approach. And I really believe when you are going to do your research work, you will be happily covering all the important points which will enhance your creative thinking skills, which will actually motivate you to enable yourself to study in a very creative manner. All right, students. So I hope you have understood. And with this, I will see you in the next class. Till then, see you. Take care and be safe and keep learning.